What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Sneasler in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, let me know about in the comment section. And if you enjoy the videos, drop a like there and let's get started. So Sneasler is an excellent physical attacker and it's got some nice stats and very nice moves and abilities. So let's check them out. So firstly, we've got a nice attack stat of 130 and we've got a speed stat of 120. So that's obviously its best stats it's got going for it. We got a fighting and poison type, which is very, very interesting typing. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I wouldn't say it's absolutely terrible. And it actually can have a variety of terror types it can perform very well in. With the abilities we got Pressure, Unburden, and Poison Touch. So Unburden and Poison Touch are virtually the abilities you're going to be using the most on it because you can get the most out of them and they're very good on it. So let's have a look at the first set here. This set can be run quite a few different ways with a different terror type or certain moves, but I found this one to probably be the most, I'd say the one that works best around the board as a physical sweeper. So we're going to be running Unburden and I'm going to be running White Herb. So White Herb and Unburden do work very well together. There are little other ways you can get Unburden to activate. I'll go over some of them in this video too. So we're looking at White Herb to be activated for close combat. That way you won't have that defense and special defense drop after you use it. And most importantly, you'll be activating Unburden, which is going to double your speed. Now, for argument's sake, if you don't want to have max speed, you know, it's going to be extraordinarily fast after one, then you could opt to go for Adamant as well. That's going to give you a lot more attack for sure. So if you want to go for that, fine. That would be okay. The only reason I ran that on Jolly is, for example, if you do get your Unburden ability activated and you swap it out, you lose that speed boost. So it might be great at the start, but if you're forced to swap because you're walled or whatever situation you have to swap out, you'll lose that. So that's why I suggested Jolly for. So if you want to run Adamant, you can, but if you swap it out, you are going to lose out on a lot of speed. And it's not exactly a bulky Pokemon either. It's very, very easy to feint. Now, the other move we've got a Dire Claw. You can have that. Dire Claw is an excellent move. It's 80 base power. It has a 50% chance to sleep, poison, or paralyze, making it it's a very hard move to swap into because you could get one of those three status against your opponent. Even if they got a good swap in, one of those statuses could be very detrimental. So you've got also Gunk Shot as an option. Gunk Shot is a little bit more has a little bit more base power there of 120. We've got for that. But Gunk Shot does have 80% accuracy, so I'd probably be going with Dire Claw. I reckon that's just a better move in general to use on it. Plus, you get all these added bonuses of it. It's so good. So anyway, we've got Night Slash as the last move. I like to run Night Slash purely for Goldengo because that Pokemon can really, really destroy you if you've got close combat and Dire Claw because you can't do anything to it being a Ghost and Steel type. Also, I like to run on this Terra Dark because you got any Psychic types coming in here that's going to be very, very nice against them. And also, it's going to boost the power of Night Slash too. You could run multiple Terras on there, for example. I'll go over some more of them in a sec. The other move I've given it is Sword Dance. So you can find yourself being able to get a Sword Dance going, especially against a, you get a swap. So you can get Sword Dance going, and that kind of makes up for it, you running Jolly Nature. So that's a great status move to run. Another sort of variant you could go for here, I have seen people do this too. It's kind of similar to like Mega Salamence and Roaring Moon. And Roaring Moon has like this Terra Flying as well. So you could go ahead and do that if you wanted to at the same time with White Herb or close combat White Herb. That could be an option. Whether you want to keep Night Slash on there or change it out for like Sword Dance is another thing at the same time there as well. But once again, you have to sort of watch out for other Pokemon to come in. Like Goldengo is still going to be quite hard to get around. You may have to adjust your moveset there. So maybe you could give it, say, I don't know, Fire Punch could be an option there. I still like Night Slash though. It does hit Psychic for a super active. So yeah, you could have Night Slash on there and just drop Sword Dance. So that's another way you could run this too. But I still believe it's I like that very first set a little bit better. I just think it works well. You don't absolutely have to rely on acrobatics there working. And it's easy to activate White Herb and Unburden at the same time with this set. And yeah, I quite like this one the best, and with Terra Dark too. But it can run like, as I said, it can run like multiple different Terras. You don't have to run that. I just quite like getting that boost in Night Slash and being completely immune to Psychic. It's 4 times weak to Psychic, so you are going to draw out a Psychic type Pokemon at some stage, for example. So that could definitely be something you could, you could go for there. I'm just trying to think of some other ones you could do. Terra Ground is another one you could use, say, if you were running. I'm just trying to think like absolute best counters to this. I'd say just on the topic of counters here, I'd say the best 2 counters I could think of on the top of my head for Sneasler would be Goldengo and Toxapex, I'd say. So a move that can get around both of these nicely is Terra Blast Ground. At least that way you can hit them. So that would be another Terra option for that. So I drop Night Slash and go to Terra Ground. That's another good one you could have there at the same time. I mean, you could go Terra Poison also and Terra Fighting if you wanted to, as well. If you wanted to make those moves even more powerful, there's always the option of doing both of them at the same time too. Like, they're very, very good moves. But I feel like it's good to have a coverage move, because those sort of things can definitely be quite good for sure. I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, you could try Terra Normal, but no, I'd say I'd stick with either Terra Dark, Terra Poison, Terra Fighting, or Terra Flying. That'd be the ones I'd be going. Or Terra Ground. Terra Ground's actually very good too with the counters like of Goldengo and Toxapex. So that would be all the information I've got for you there on the Unburdened set. Let's have a look at another set. We've got Choice Band or Choice Scarf. This can work a little bit differently. It actually does get Switcheroo, which is kind of cool. So I thought it'd be fun to have this as Dire Claw, and it does get U-Turn, which is great on choice items. It's kind of your way of hitting Psychic types too. So you've got Dire Claw, U-Turn, and Close Combat. I've given this one Poison Touch this time. Poison Touch, any sort of contacting moves are going to have a 30% chance of poisoning there. And we've got Switcheroo. So you could come across a Pokemon that really counters you, for example. Or maybe like it's a stalling Pokemon. Something swaps and you can't do too much to, and you know they're going to go for a status move on your swap. Give them a Switcheroo with a Choice Band. You know, that would be a great way to shut them down. Bit of surprise there too. Plus with Choice Band, it's going to be hitting very hard, and you're going to be very fast too. Another one, of course, is Choice Scarf if you want to be like even faster. I don't know. With that, I feel like that's kind of unnecessary. You could have like attack as well on there, like Adamant Nature. That would sort of be what I would go for there. Either go Adamant or go with Jolly, or go Jolly and then go Band. I see it as kind of a waste to its speed. Otherwise, you could be putting it into other stats. I've given this one Terra Fighting. Look, you could go Terra Fighting, Terra Poison. You could even go Terra Bug if you really wanted to, but that would just be like surprise for Poison. So I'd probably go Terra Fighting on that one. It's runs a little bit differently to the Unburdened set. I think it's less limited in the Terra type, where that has more options to use. But they're probably the most common sets you're going to see, especially running on Sneasler. I'm going to go into something for doubles now, so more competitive for doubles, and then I've got some memes for you. So looking at doubles, it can run a little bit differently. I'm trying to go for a moveset that's a little bit different to singles here, but you could use some of those singles one and in doubles too, absolutely. But there are a couple of moves here that you could use in doubles that would be better than singles. So it does get Fake Out, which is quite nice. And as you know, Fake Out Normal Gem can activate your Unburden right away, which is excellent. So you've got that, and then you've got Dire Claw, Close Combat, of course. And it also gets Rock Slide, which I thought could be great with Terra-type Rock. It is weak to flying, so that could be a interesting kind of counter there to go for a Terra Rock Slide. Plus, you've got that 30% chance to flinch the opponent as well, and you're hitting them both. So that could be kind of nice to go for that. As for the EVs, look, you could actually get away with possibly going for Adamant on this, because you could get your Fake Out Normal Gem right away. And since it doubles, you probably wouldn't be swapping as much as singles, so I'd even opt to go for Adamant on that with, and you got Terra Rock too. You could, I'm trying to think of some other ones you could go for. You could try to go for Poison and Fighting as well, but I kind of like the idea of Fake Out Normal Gem and then Terra-type Rock for that big, rock sort of damage there. Maybe you could couple that with, I'm just thinking on the spotty, you could couple that with a Storm Drain Pokemon. Man, that actually would be like Gastrodon or something like that. How about that? That'd be pretty good. So Gastrodon as a partner. So that could be a definite option there too, especially after turning into a rock type. So that's some options for doubles. Have you got any more doubles options or just any movesets in general? There's always, as always, share them in the comment section. I always like to hear everyone's thoughts. But yeah, they're my more competitive sort of sets, singles and doubles, or whatever format you plan to play on. Let's have a look at a couple of memes here. So this is actually pretty powerful, but it is easily shut down. So I noticed it actually got reversal. So I thought, well, you could easily do a unburden reversal set with weakness policy. It's weak to quite a few things. So you could make endure and unburden weakness policy happen. And then once you're on 1 health, reversals at opposites of full health, full power. And you could just absolutely demolish the opponents. Now, it has Diaclaw and we've got Sword Dance. So I'm pretty much just going for reversal most of the time. And if a Ghost type comes in, I guess you could go for that. Or you could go Night Slash as well. That way you wouldn't get walled by Goldango. I'd probably do that in Ghost type Pokemon. So I adjust that to Night Slash. And yeah, I've given this one Terra-type Ghost. The reason I did that is just for stuff like Extreme Speed Dragonite, or Extreme Speed Pokemon in general. That would be quite a nice little surprise to them when you go for a Terra Ghost and then you go for reversal. So I'm not saying it's infallible, but it could definitely, I've swept with this set myself before. It's quite easy to sweep with. And yeah, you could definitely clean up rather nicely mid to late game there. The only thing that there's a lot of priority moves that can counter you and other abilities like, you could have like items too, like Rocky Helmet and stuff like that. You might fall to something like that, or Shadow Sneak, Sucker Punch, Ice Shard, Extreme Speed. You can get around, but yeah, there's always a lot of stuff to stop a 1 HP Pokemon. But definitely a little surprise set you could try. Next one we got here is a Honeclaws meme. This one is still not that bad, but it's a bit gimmicky too. We've got Terra type normal, and we've got normal gem to activate Unburden. So we got Honeclaws. So Honeclaws is a way of increasing attack and accuracy. So I thought, that'd be fun with Gunk Shot. Like, that way you'd be getting a lot of extra actually there on the Gunk Shot. And, of course, we've got Close Combat. And to activate it, we've got the enormous double hit. So we got double hit normal gem. After a Honeclaws, double hit's going to be obviously not missing at all. And you've got 2 hits. And you've got normal gem and Unburden activate. A little bit of a fun set there for sure. But give it a go if you like. Our next set, let's have a little look at this one. Of course, I had to do a PIMPNITE special here. It is a meme set. It's a special Sneasler. Now, like Weavile, it actually learns Nasty Plot. So I thought, this would be interesting. I'm trying to think what ability they even give this. I guess I could give it Unburden. That'd be better. So I've got Unburden and Red Card. Now, the reason I've got that is I'm trying to make the opponent get hit by double damage from Toxic Spikes. Now, this could be much easier on your team if you've got a Toxic Spike setup, but let's say, for example, you don't have a Toxapex that's laid down Toxic Spikes for you, or the opponent has absorbed them, and then their Poison-type Pokemon is now fainted. You can try and do this. So I'm going to go for Nasty Plot and Toxic Spikes combination. So Toxic Spikes on the field, the opponent attacks you, and Red Card activates. So if you survive the hit, of course, it'll activate and automatically swap them out, and that way, you'll get the cycle of the opponent being poisoned every time they swap in, kind of thing. Now, whether you can get a Nasty Plot up in the meantime, well, that's probably not going to happen. But if you somehow have 2 turns, you can go ahead and try and use this. Maybe Nasty Plot the first turn, and that way at least you can go for a Venoshock. I know it's not going to be like that powerful, but at least then you've got +2 in special attack. If you feel like, you can get that up there, maybe you can, but I'd probably do this with the Toxic Spikes Pokemon. That way you only have to go for Nasty Plot then. If you were just using this alongside a Toxic Spikes Pokemon, I'll adjust that set. For that in a sec. The EVs, I've got Max Special Attack and Max Speed, Timid Nature. Let's say you already had a Toxic Spikes Pokemon, because that's pretty rough trying to set those 2 moves up, especially with this Pokemon isn't exactly what you call bulky. So we got Grass Knot. That's another option. Shadow Ball. That could be actually, I'd put Shadow Ball in there, because that way, if a Goldango comes in, at least you can do something to them, So there we go. There's the special Venoshock set. I hope you like that. But as for let's get rid of this, a couple of these, and let's talk about some counters. So I did talk about this already, but let's really focus it. So we got Goldango being a steel and ghost type. That's an excellent counter. As I said earlier on, you want to have stuff like Terra Blast Ground or Night Slash to get rid of that. Otherwise, you are going to be completely walled, and Goldango can either set up Nasty Plot or just destroy your next Pokemon coming in. Another one too is Toxapex. I'd say these ones are the two best counters if you got any other counters in mind, but I think these are very, very good. Obviously, it's tanking Dire Claw and Close Combat, so you're going to need, and Night Slash is going to do nothing to it, so I reckon that Terra Ground set, you've really got your best sort of coverage there for sure. Let's change that to Terra Ground. So that set there gives you your greatest amount of coverage. I really like this set. Or the Terra Dark one with Night Slash. That'd be the best set I reckon you can use for a Sword Dance Sneasler, in my opinion. I've had the most success with it, and it works great for coverage. And it's very difficult for the opponent to swap into some of these powerful moves too. But yeah, that's its counters. As for the teammates, well, with doubles, we were talking about that Gastrodon was Storm Drain, weren't we? Like that could be pretty cool. That this one going here. So we got the Storm Drain. So you'd be drawing in the water type moves. And then you've got this as a Terra Roxas. So they could work very, very nicely together. Let's think about, you know what? Even though Goldango is an excellent counter for this too. It's actually not a bad, I was thinking of any dark type Pokemon that could swap into this too. It's also like dark type. Let's bring up dark types here. We could see something that could work. So we've got King Gambit there as a dark type. That could be okay. We've also got, we've got Samurott. That would be all right too. Samurott, that wouldn't be too bad. So King Gambit is, I'm just having a look. So that would be, so Psychic. Yeah, King Gambit's quite nice because you swap into those Psychic type moves. You can swap into those Flying type moves as well. So that's actually a pretty good pick. I like that one. So King Gambit. Let's see if there's any other ones here. We've got dark types here. So, I mean, you got Ting Lu, and Ting Lu is just like bulky as heck. So maybe Ting Lu could help out, putting some spikes or stealth rocks on the field, which always helps out physical attackers like Sneasler and that sort of thing. So that could be another option there for some teammates. Now, let's just have a look at some of the rest of its moves. I'd like to go over all of its moves that it gets and discuss them. If there's any other potential movesets maybe we could use here. We've gone over pretty much everything for the competitive sets. I'm just thinking what else we could do. So let's have a look at its status moves. So I don't think it needs agility. That's sort of a waste because it already gets unburdened. It does get bulk up, so you might be able to make it a bit tankier. So maybe instead of Sword Dance, you could have bulk up. Sure, you might be able to live a move a little bit better, but it doesn't get any. Does it get anything like Drain Punch? Nah, it doesn't get Drain Punch. I would have suggested a bulk up Drain Punch set. That might have worked. I get Calm Mind. There's no real reason to use Calm Mind at all. You've got Nasty Plot, which is infinitely better. Unless you're doing something like meme, like bulk up and Calm Mind, but then you'd have to have some sort of I don't know what. Let's do a meme set. Okay, we got bulk up and Calm Mind. Greatest set in the world here, right? We got Chesto, Berry. Incredible. All right, now we got Rest, and we need to have what? Does this have stored power? Oh my goodness, that would have been hilarious, but it doesn't. Yeah, so it's going to make this bulky. I would say, look, if I was going to get one attacking move, I'd give it Dire Claw, and that would make it really, really bulky. Obviously, we're running a completely meme set here. This is absolutely terrible. It's not very bulky either, so you'd probably... I'm thinking on, EV. The special defense is, a little bit better. I'd probably give it I'm thinking careful. Yeah, careful nature. Here we go. Oh, there we go. It's a certified PIMPNITE special. So we got bulk up, Calm Mind, Rest, and Dire Claw. Wow. How about pressure? I don't think we need we'll go unburdened because Chesto Berry be used up then, and we can have our speed. Okay, I like that. Incredible set there. You're definitely gonna win every time you try that. But on a serious note here, let's check out some more of the moves out. Go status. So we've pretty much gone over everything here. Okay, it could make a good taunt Pokemon actually. I'm thinking maybe a lead here. This could be something, but I don't know. This could be a leads kind of set. Yeah, okay. So we got a lead set. So maybe like a sweeping one, right? I'm just thinking something a little bit different here. Like, it's easy to use the same other sets, but how about we got like a Taunt and Toxic Spike set? So say you verse those, those typical Stealth Rock or Toxic Spikes Pokemon, you could taunt them at the start and maybe shut them down. As for item, look, you could give it Focus Sash if you're really worried about like any other moves, and that could be good for it could be good for Unburden, or you could maybe go Life Orb or something like that. That could work. Life Orb for a little bit of extra base power. I'm trying to think. You've also got like things like unconsumable items. Like Air Balloon's another consumable item if you're trying to get Unburdened to work. That's another one too. But yeah, there's a different sort of sets you could go for there. Let's have a look at some other moves that it gets. But outside of that, I don't think it's going to be too much else. It's kind of a limited Pokemon. It works well with what it's got, but that's that's about it. It gets Fire Punch. That's another option of hitting, I guess, like, I don't know, Scissor or something like that. That could work. Any other Steel type Pokemon, but you do have Close Combat, so that's sort of off the table there. It gets Quick Attack. It's not really that, I don't know, like Terra Normal Quick Attack's going to be doing too much. It's got Trailblaze. You don't really need that. Yeah, there's not a lot else it can really do here that I haven't already mentioned. We went over a reversal set already. We got here Metal Claw. My goodness. Yeah, there's not too much else you could actually go for. I'm just trying to think of some other options. We already discussed the Acrobatic set. Low Kick as a fighting type move. I'm thinking, like, let's have a look at its fighting type moves, if there's anything apart from Close Combat. So we've got Brick Break. Really, the only reason you run Brick Break is to get rid of screens. Maybe you could run that on the lead set. If, say the screens are going to get set up there. Maybe you could go for that. You're losing a lot of, like, base power, though. But this is, like, anti-lead sort of Sneasler. So I think the Brick Break could work on it. That'd be the only set that, you'd really want it to work on. But that's another option for physical moves. But virtually, that's pretty much it for Sneasler. I'm trying to sum this up here. So basically, it's a great physical sweeper. It gets great moves to Stab, Close Combat, and it's Diaclaw or Gunk Shot. Great, which works well with Unburden. It gets access to Sword Dance, which makes it you're potentially a great physical sweeper. The problem I see with it, it is weak to quite a few things, and it's not very bulky at all. And it can be walled by some pretty popular Pokemon like Goldengo and Toxapex. They are some other ones there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's still a very, very good Pokemon for sure. It does get a lot of boosting moves, which is great for it as well. But it doesn't want to take a lot of hits. So if you get those Sword Dances up, you really need to start fainting Pokemon. Otherwise, you're going to get absolutely destroyed there. It has a lot of Terra potential as well. We went over that in this video. So you can really go quite unique with its Terra Z, depending on what your team is. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Sneasler. I hope you enjoyed today's Sneasler guide. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover that I haven't before, put it below. If you want to check the playlist out, I've done nearly 100 different Pokemon, so check them out. And if you enjoy this, if you found it interesting, have helped you out, drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.